All right, welcome to Rapid Fire Manufacturing. Today I have Brett Lister. He is the owner of B&B Dynamic Machining. He's an expert in CNC programming and machining, and he's constantly focusing on improving his processes and advancing his craft. Brett, thank you so much for joining today.
Hey, anytime, David. Glad to be here.
So I want to start off with the story behind B&B Dynamic Machining. Kind of go through your history and how you started it.
So me and my soon-to-be previous partner worked together at another company, and he knew I had this idea for a school in my head for years because I know there's such a shortage of machinists in the area. So I had an idea in my head for a school where let me backtrack there for a second. One of the companies I used to work for used to pay it forward quite a bit, and he would work with agencies that would place foreigners. So a lot of times I would get someone to train on the mill that spoke absolutely no English, and I'd have to have my lathe guy, who was Belarusian, come over and tell the new guy what to do. So he liked to pay it forward, which was a nice thing. And then after hours, he had a guy come in and would teach them English and stuff like that. Well, what happens if you have a school where now you can learn everyday English and machining at the same time? Not the difference between there, and there. Calipers, mics, stuff you're going to use in everyday English. So it's an idea I've had in my head for several years. And when I started at Reliable Equipment, that's when I kind of met Blaine, and he knew I was thinking about starting this, and he just asked, "Hey man, do you mind if I go in on it with you?" And at the time, I'm like, "No man, absolutely." And then the owner of Reliable Equipment bought another machine shop, and there was a compressor that he didn't want with an air dryer, so he said, "Give it to the guy starting up a school." So, all right. I went over to personally thank him, and he didn't give me 2 seconds to talk to him, and I got fired the following Monday. So the school got turned into a business real quick because we had to make money. So that's how B&B got started. Luckily, we hopped on LinkedIn right away because I was never a fan of social media, but I also know owning a business, you better be on LinkedIn, in my opinion. So luckily, we posted the machine getting delivered, and another machine shop that was in the same industrial park saw that post. And with the lack of machinists in the area, they were about 6 months behind schedule, if I had to take a guess. So at first it was, here's one job, obviously, prove to us you can do it, drop it off, you'll get another job. Once that started happening, now it was all right, well, here's 3 jobs, here's 4 jobs, and that's kind of how we built up the relationship with them. And I tell everyone all the time, we would not be where we're at if it wasn't for that machine shop. I tell that owner all the time, I'm thankful to him. We did a lot of business for them the first year. It's kind of fallen off the past couple of years because obviously they kind of hired some machinists and updated their equipment. I think they got a couple more horizontals to run a little bit more efficiently, so we don't see as much production. But it allowed us to build the company to the point where we are today.
That's awesome. And I know last time we talked, you said you don't shy away from kind of job shop type opportunities, right? You're very open to
job
that.
shop. Without a doubt, we're a job shop. We don't run. I mean, we'll run. The most we've ever ran is 500, I think. 500 of one style of a titanium piece and 500 of another style but titanium piece. But no, we're without a doubt, one of the few shops in this area that'll take a walk-in customer.
That's cool. So you can, I guess, run through a scenario, obviously nothing proprietary, but where maybe someone has come in and used you for a specific job.
No. So again, a lot of the two jobs I can tell you right now. So I don't know if I mentioned to you, there's one guy that is pretty cool. We actually help him restore Civil War cannons, and so he went to another machine shop that again doesn't really take walk-in customers, and that's the good thing about. So when I first started B&B, I tried to connect with as many local companies as I possibly could. Hey man, if you have any overflow, doing that, they know as soon as I walk in, hey, go see B&B. Hey, go see B&B. So that happens quite a bit. So that's what happened with this gentleman. And our first job was to lighten up 50 non-explosive artillery rounds. So, I mean, it was a 25-pound bullet that just didn't explode. And he needed a hole punched in the back of it because he takes these things down to Tennessee in a competition and he fires them. So that's one scenario. That was pretty cool. So we're actually working on a mold right now for someone. And again, another machine shop. They didn't have the time because, again, I don't think they do onesies and twosies. They're more of a production. And these are 3 ejection molds where, again, they're a top and a bottom half and they're one-offs. So they recommended that gentleman to us as well. And the only other gentleman I can think of off the top of my head right now is I was sitting here. My desk used to face the window and I noticed a pickup truck one day. It kind of drove by, stopped, put it in reverse. And then he came in, he's like, I got turned down by 3 or 4 other shops. Can you make this little part for me? I said, absolutely. And then that turned into actually more work from that same gentleman.
That's awesome. Now, so to see the power of LinkedIn work, how quickly was that evident?
I mean, obviously, it was very quick just because of that. Like I said, I just mentioned
One
that when we
post.
started another machine shop, saw that, and I mean, to us, that was huge.
Mhm.
I don't want to say what we did for them as far as money wise, but I mean, that first year, it was a lot that they gave us. So that was huge. But not just for work. So I think we're all about collaboration. We've met two organizations in the past couple of weeks where we're 2025. I told Quincy that's the year of B&B Dynamic Machining giving back, and giving back doesn't necessarily have to have a monetary value on it. It could be our time.
Mhm.
So we've met with two organizations that are trying to get the young adults soft skills to get them into manufacturing, whether it be welding, machining. They're not really leaning towards HVAC and plumbing because, again, that's more union. And if you're not someone's brother, you're probably not getting in there. We're manufacturing. You can walk into a shop. I told my daughter's boyfriend this years ago, said, if you walk into a shop, just raise your hand and say, I want to learn machining, they'll probably hire you. That's how much of a shortage there is. Just, I mean, but no, LinkedIn's huge. I mean, so we met Yadira Johnson on LinkedIn. She's the one that we met at the Urban Youth Economics Group yesterday. So they're actually coming to our collaboration meeting next Wednesday. Not to just pick other owners' brains about what soft skills they should be teaching and stuff like that, but connect with other owners as well. Because when these young adults graduate these courses, they want to be able to place them into jobs and stuff like that. So,
Right. Now, and that's how Quincy got in through Ron's
yes.
class, right? Is that so? Are you working with Sam Thevenigam at all?
No, I'm not.
Okay, I know he's in Philly as well.
Yeah,
But
no, I
yeah, that's a
believe he is. We were just talking about that organization yesterday. Who's he with again? It's IRC. It's the
Devolve or
yes.
parts
The
like.
Gal Parks Life Cycle or something like.
Yes.
Yeah. No, we were just talking about him yesterday down at that meeting that we were talking about.
Yeah, because
I
it seems
personally
like
do not know him. No.
between you, Sam, and Ron, that's a really powerful collaboration right there.
No, it's such a small world. So Ron actually used to work with my partner that I'm trying to buy out. They used to work together. I mean,
Okay, okay.
what kind of small world that? Yeah, they used to work together. But then once he decided he wanted out, I was connected with Ron, so he was one of the first persons I got on the phone with, and be like, "Hey, Ron, I'm looking for." He's like, "Yeah, Brett, we got it. We got anywhere from this range to this range because people pick things up at a different rate." And that's why I went down and I met two gentlemen and Quincy. They were supposed to come the following weekend to see the shop. Quincy texted me the next day. He's like, "Man, can I come see the shop? I want to show you how hungry I am." Oh yeah,
That's awesome.
And like I said, he was wise enough because I told him I could train him up and he'll go get a job someplace else. I'm not
Hmm.
stupid. Once I cap out a certain amount, if I teach him programming and everything, he's going to go get a job making something else, unless I make this place more attractive. So we are going to do profit sharing. I told him he has a LinkedIn profile. He does YouTube videos. If anyone comes to us saying that they saw your video and they'd like us to quote something and we get the job, now you get 3% commission. So the reason I bring that up is he was wise enough is because before he was even hired, he came in on my computer and did drew and programmed Titan 1M, the first part, on his own time to start getting familiar with Mastercam. Because Ron's course is it's a compact course, so they don't get on the computers at all. It's books, OSHA training, and then a little bit on the machine. So he wasn't really using the CAM software or anything like that. So that's where again. So now he's doing simple little parts on his own. Now, again, I'm kind of
Oh,
helping him with
that's sweet.
speeds and feeds and stuff like that, but he's drawing it, modeling it, and putting toolpaths on there, and then I'm helping him with speeds and feeds.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've loved seeing the posts you guys are, yeah,
I'm
doing
not
throughout the
joking. You
week.
and Ron started talking about him in your podcast. I mentioned it to Quincy, and we even brought it up yesterday with these young kids. He's like, man, get on LinkedIn because Quincy's already getting noticed,
Yep.
Quincy, Nush, you name it. You can blow up on LinkedIn.
Oh yeah, it's so good for businesses, especially to highlight manufacturing.
Mm-hmm.
So now I wanted to ask you too, what's, I guess, one thing you tell someone to focus on in order to get them up to speed quicker?
That's a good one. I throw so much at Quincy. I don't know if there's one thing to focus on. I mean, basically, when I hired him, I said, "Yo, listen, I'm going to feed you to the wolves." I mean, I know that might scare some people, but the person that it didn't scare, that's the person I want. Because I said, listen, I'm going to throw as much at you as I possibly can. With him right now, and I think this will be the same as the learning the tenths, thousandths, 10,000ths, and 100,000ths. Focusing on that because when I tell him to make an offset change, I'll see him type .02 instead of .002. But I'm standing right behind him, and I'm like, no, it's 20,000ths. Let's put in 2,000ths, and he'll correct himself. So that's the one thing I think would focus on is just the terminology.
Got it. Okay. Now, what is one of the most impactful upgrades that you've made at your shop?
I would have to say probably the CMM. I think just
CMM.
having, I mean, everything was manual inspection before that, but just having the CMM and being able to verify our parts to a customer rather than manually. So again, I mentioned that another machine shop is how we got started.
Mm-hmm.
We were so lucky, blessed. We could not have walked into a better situation. And what I mean by that is any job we ran for them, they ran before. So we would get their fixturing. They would give me their setup sheets. Now, I would write my own programs because I'm going to live or die by my own programs, but at least I saw how they do it or if the fixturing they use, because some of the stuff was pretty complicated.
Mm-hmm.
What was great about that is at the same time is, hey, listen, some of these parts are pretty complicated. I don't want to run 100 parts on scrap. Why don't I do one and take it over to you guys and you can double check us on your CMM? And they were doing that for us. So like I said, when we were blessed with the start we had, finding that shop and then finding us, it was great. So now we don't have to, anytime we get their parts again, it's not, hey, we don't need to, hey, can Larry inspect this for us? No, we have our own CMM now.
Yeah, so you don't have to wait on Larry anymore.
But no, I would say the CMM is the biggest one.
And then as far as how are you getting more, I guess, people in the community involved? Is that working with people like Ron and Drew Crow? I guess, what are you doing from your side at B&B?
To get
more people like in the industry, how are you kind of, behind
that?
it?
I mean, I got a couple ideas. So like I said, obviously the collaboration meeting, the first 3 meetings were about getting employees through the door, retaining employees, training them. He had an idea that I need to start back up again because there are about 5 companies in the collaboration group, because not everyone that comes as an owner. Some are production managers, some are manufacturing managers. We actually have 3 machine tool reps that come. 2 of the machine tool reps used to be cutting tool reps, and they miss seeing when they go in and change an end mill, they would see the results right away. When you go in and sell a machine, you don't see the results for a couple months if the customer even tells you that. So they like giving their input on the cutting tool aspect of it. Hey man, the one guy wasn't getting the finish that he wanted in 316 stainless, and they chimed in right away. Hey, how much are you leaving? 5,000. Well, you're not leaving enough. You need to leave more. You're not even getting into the hone edge of the end mill and stuff like that. So that's where, again, the collaboration group comes in. But what I had in mind with having the 5 companies in there is there's at least got to be 5 local high schools. Let's set a field trip on the same day where these 5 high schools rotate between the 5 shops. And I don't want kids that know about manufacturing. I want kids that don't know what they want to do after high school. I'm going to college. Good. I don't want you. I want the kids that don't know about manufacturing, that aren't going to college, that know nothing about manufacturing. Because now they're going to come, oh, this is pretty cool. They're going to go back and tell their friends. So, and again, they'd have to be small groups because they're getting their machine shops. Maybe like 5 to 10 kids, and let's rotate them between the schools. So that was something I have. I actually have another idea about a video that I want to do about getting like 6 younger people to put like 5 minutes together. I know Quincy's going to do it. I know the woman Yadira, so maybe one of her students would do it. Ron would do it. Let's put a video together of 5, like I said, 6 young kids. Let's make it about a half-hour video, and let's get this CD, or I say CD because I'm old, but let's get this USB now with a half-hour video on it, and let's get it in front of these high schools. Let's get it in because I was at an NTMA event a couple months ago, and the one lady that was speaking was, well, your website doesn't just have to be about attracting potential customers. It should be about attracting potential employees as well. So you should have a video of a Quincy on your website saying why he likes working at B&B, what manufacturing has done for him. Well, that's great, but what happens if you don't have a young guy like Quincy to put on your website? So that maybe we could use, again, I have an idea that this little video, I want it to go viral and be in every high school, be in every, Yadira Johnson be down at the National Center yesterday, be at the 6-Man Center with Gregory Thompson, just to show these young kids,
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
A 47-year-old guy speaking to these guys that doesn't look like them, doesn't talk like them, doesn't mean anything. But someone like, again, a Quincy talking to them, or someone like one of Brian Warren's students, because I wanted it to be diverse as possible. So let's get a kid from down south with a southern drawl. Let's get a Quincy, a young black man in the industry. I even had Nush for a second because, again, a woman in the industry. So that was kind of.
That would be sweet. Yeah, if you can do based on region, just get 5 or 6 different people, short clips like that, and then everyone who's watching it can relate to it in some way.
Yeah, so that's kind of something I'm working on. I dropped the ball on it last year, but like I said, 2025 is going to be our year of giving back, so we're trying to get the ball rolling, which is why we met with Gregory Thompson 2 weeks ago, why we met with Yadira Johnson yesterday. They're both going to come to our collaboration group, so we're trying. We're putting the effort out there.
That's sweet. Well, Brett, we are out of time. Thank you for all that you're doing in the industry. For those of you watching, stay tuned for more industry experts like Brett.